Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online, and in this video we will discuss about the State Bank of India recent notification, that is CBO, Circle Based Officer. So let's go with the detail of it. You can see that the notification regarding to CBO, what is important for you as a candidate. So the total number of vacancy. The total number of vacancies you can see over here is 5,280 is the current vacancies, and the backlog 167. The total comes 5,447 is the total number of vacancies. Okay. Further, the important thing you are expected to know is the important dates. And what is that? When you can start, this all are the online application. So when can you start online application? That is from 22nd of November to 12th of December. Both the dates inclusive. So this is for the application part. Okay. When the call letter expected and the examination. So both are expected in the month of January 2024. The exam is expected tentatively in the month of January 2024 of CBO. Now, coming to the next part, that has a couple of general information is there. When we are talking about the circle-based officer, what it is? So, the State Bank of India have a different circles, which I will show you the list of that. So, a person has applied for a particular circle. He will be eligible for that circle only. His selection will be based on the merit list from that circle candidate only. It's not all over India. If someone has applied their circle as Ahmedabad, then under the Ahmedabad circle, those who have opted, your selection will be based on the merit list of the candidate, those who applied to Ahmedabad circle. And that also the circle wise and the category wise. That is one important thing. So if you have applied for Ahmedabad circle, you cannot join to Hyderabad circle. That is, and your the marks or the merit list will only be calculated based on Ahmedabad circle, wherever the circle you have applied. Moving to the next one here. The number of vacancies of the circles of State Bank of India, the different circles. So you can see the names are given alphabetically. The Ahmedabad circle, then Amravati, and then Bangalore, and so on and so forth. And the total number of vacancies are given over here. So please go through the original notification if you are very keen to understand in which circle you are applying. So what are the number of vacancies are there on that particular circle. I can show you that some backlogs list are there. So in a different circles, the different number of backlogs are there. So obviously you are concerned with the total number of vacancies. Okay, that's all. So moving to the next part here, that this is circle-based officer eligibility criteria. Who is eligible? Now let's come to this a very important part. Your academic qualification, simply it's a degree by any recognized university. So graduation, recognized universities, central government recognized universities, and so on and so forth. Fine. Now coming to the age part. The age should be in between 21 to 30 years. You can see that 21 years to 30 years. Even the date is very specifically mentioned over here. It should be as on 31st of October 2023. Your age should be in between 21 to 30. And more specifically, it is mentioned that those who have not born later than this particular date, 31st of October 2002, not born. That means they born before this date, and they have not born earlier than this date. That is 1st of November 1993. So those who born in between these two dates are eligible. That's all. So let's one more criteria is there here. That is category wise we have a 30 years of age limit, but you know that for reserved category, we have some relaxation in the age. So, it's the same as in the other notifications. For example, if you belongs to any of this SC or ST, 5 years relaxation and so on and so forth. Okay friends, let's move on to the next one. That is what is the third point. We have seen that education qualification, that is graduation. We have seen that age 21 to 30 years. And coming to this one very, very important part. What is that? The experience. After post-essential academic qualification, that means after completing your degree, your experience. What experience it is talking about? Let's read it. Minimum of 2 years of experience. What experience? What kind of experience? Right? As on 31/10/2023, as an officer. Where? As an officer in the scheduled commercial banks or any regional banks as listed in the second schedule of the Reserve Bank of India. So, this condition limits the number of candidates, because you should have a 2 years of work experience, and that too as an officer, and that too it should be in commercial banks or regional rural banks or the scheduled banks which is listed in the second schedule of RBI. Okay, that also we will get into detail over here. Look at this one. The second schedule to the RBI Act 1934. What are the banks what falls under this category? Second schedule Reserve Bank of India, where if you have a 2 years of experience as an officer, you are eligible. And what is those banks? That is state cooperative banks falls under this category. Now urban cooperative banks and nationalized banks, you know, all the banks like Bank of Baroda and other banks are there, nationalized banks, and also private banks. So these are the banks from anywhere. If you have the 2 years of work experience as an officer, then you are eligible. That's the very important point. Let's move on to understand that when we talk about the private bank, you know many banks which we know, the HDFC or ICICI Bank or ING Vaishya Bank or Axis Bank or Yes Bank. So all these lists, they falls under private banks. Okay, here also if you have the 2 years of experience as an officer, you are eligible. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Those who are not eligible. So let's see that list also. So here it says the candidate who are working in the subsidies of the scheduled commercial banks. Those who are working in scheduled commercial bank? No, the subsidies of scheduled commercial bank. What is the subsidies of scheduled commercial bank? I'll explain this. They are not eligible to apply. Okay, the next candidate who is working in State Bank of India as a clerk or supervisory category, they are also not eligible to write this examination. Okay, one more important thing comes over here, that is the candidate who have registered from officer grade in SBI or the associate bank or employee previously, now engaged on contract basis in SBI, registered from bank, will not be eligible. So we thought it's a very important to pass on this information. Now moving on to the next one. What we talking about the subsidies of the scheduled bank. If you are working in a scheduled bank, yes, you are eligible as an officer, if you work for 2 years, you are eligible. But if you have worked for 2 years as an officer in subsidiaries of that banks, you are not. What is that? So, just to show you the example, I have taken the State Bank of India subsidies. Now, what are these subsidies? The SBI life insurance is there. The SBI general insurance is there. Now, the SBI card and the payment service limited is there. The same way SBI funds management is there. The SBI capital market is there. So, these all are the subsidies of State Bank of India. So, if you have a experience in these subsidies, you are not eligible. Those who are working in subsidies are State Bank of India are not eligible. For subsidies, I have taken an example. I am taking one more example of Bank of Baroda. So, what are the subsidies of Bank of Baroda? The Bank of Baroda itself is a bank, but it has a joint venture, it has a subsidies. So, those are the Bank of Baroda Financial Solutions, Bank of Baroda Capital Market, and so on and so forth. So, their experience will not be considered or counted. Moving on to the next part, what about the circle? It is a circle-based officer. So, these all are the circles, that is Ahmedabad, Amravati, Bangalore, Bhopal, and so on and so forth. One important thing is over here is that the language. So, wherever you are applying, suppose if you are applying for Ahmedabad circle, then you must know Gujarati writing, reading and speaking. Suppose if you are in Chennai, then you must know the regional language Tamil, writing, reading and speaking. So, this is an important criteria. While you are applying, please check that, or else even after completing everything, you will not be eligible to join because of this language condition. Okay, my friends? Okay, so you can go through the main notifications if you are interested further, or you take the screenshot here. Now, moving to the next part, that what is the selection process? The selection process is on 3 stages. The first is the online examination, objective based test. Okay, the next one is the screening. What is that screening? I will discuss that. And the next is interview. Everyone knows what interview is all about. Moving to one by one, what is online test? There will be an objective test with 120 marks with 120 questions. Okay. And there will be a descriptive test of 50 marks in which you need to write one letter and one essay on computer itself. Okay. So, this is not new for this competitive exams. And fine. So, when this descriptive exam will be conducted immediately after completion of the objective test. Once the objective test is over, after few minutes, maybe after 10 minutes or 15 minutes, the descriptive test will be given, and that too on computer, one essay and one letter. Okay, this is about the written test. Moving on to the next part, that what will be there in the written examination, the objective test. So, these are the criteria there. Here, the subject, English language. Another subject, banking knowledge. So, in depth banking question will be there because they are asking the 2 years experience as an officer in a bank, right? So, here banking knowledge. Then after that, general awareness and economy. It's common for all bank exams. Now, the next one is the computer aptitude. So, each section you can see the different number of questions and different number of marks. For English, we have 30 questions and 30 marks and the time allotment is 30. So, that means the sectional timing is given to you. So is the banking knowledge, 40 questions and 40 marks, and you have the 40 minutes here. I noticed that the number of questions is equal to number of marks is equal to number of duration, number of minutes. Now, in computer, you can see that there are 20 questions and 20 marks and 20 minutes. The overall, there are 120 questions and 120 marks and 120 minutes. You can see that here. That's what the exam pattern is. So once you qualify over here, then it goes to screening descriptive part here. Okay. After objective, as I said, the descriptive part will be there, in which you have the 30 minutes time and 50 marks is there, in which there will be one letter writing and one essay writing. So here previously we have seen 120 marks in this part, and here we have another 50 marks. The total is 170 marks the written examination is. Okay, moving forward here, a screening test. After that, there will be a screening test. What is that? You will be called to the bank office, wherever it may be, in zonal or regional office, and your eligibility criteria will be checked. That means your experience, especially your experience, whether it fit into the given category or not. So that experience certificate along with the other activities like your certificates and other things. So mainly this screening is about the verification of your experience, whether your experience matches with the requirement of a notification or not. After that is satisfied, then there will be an interview. Fine. So, okay. What is the marks of interview? There are 50 marks in interview. Now, the total marks is there, written examination 170 and 50 marks is interview. What the bank does is, in the final selection, it converts to 75 and it converts on the base 25. So this marks will be converted with base 75 and this marks base will be converted over 25, and the sum of that will be considered for your merit list. Hope I am clear. Okay, let's move on. The same thing is mentioned over here, that is 75 is to 25. Out of 170 written examination and 50 interview, this, as I discussed, it will be converted on the base 75, it will be converted on the base 25, and the sum will be considered for merit list. So fine. So that is what the final selection is. If you are falling from the top to the required number of vacancies, you will be selected. Few more things I would like to share with you, that the most important thing, how to apply it. So, as I said that from this date, that is from 22nd of November 2023 to 12th of December 2023, in between you have to apply and visit the State Bank of India website, which simply says that bank.sbi/web/career/current openings. Visit there, and the step by step the application itself will guide you what to fill and how to move forward. So this is all about the circle based officer, which in short we call it as CBO, notification of State Bank of India. That's all, my friends. Wish you all the best to all of you.